Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Josh.
Hello, Scott.
Josh, my friend, it's been like 11 hours since we did our last sort of video. We covered the end of the PlayStation 5 showcase. It was all a big old deal. And then just all hell's broken loose since then. A lot of people comparing lots of things that Sony PlayStation had said in the run-up to the showcase with what actually came out after the showcase itself last night. And there's just a whole ton of stuff. One of the biggest issues regarding pre-orders, because their messaging in terms of how you would secure the console has just been completely betrayed by what happened immediately after. A lot of this boils down to an interview between Jeff Keighley and PlayStation's Eric Lempel. It was back from when Keighley was given the DualSense controller and he was demoing that, and then he had Eric Lempel on to talk about the idea of pre-ordering. And Keighley was addressing the fact that back then there was a rumor going around that Sony were just going to push a button and allow pre-orders to just be out there. And Eric Lempel immediately was like, no, it's not going to be that at all. It's going to be way more considered. He said, no, definitely not now. We don't know what happened there. We had nothing to do with the rumor itself. I got a message from someone saying people were lining up at stores and we had no idea why. He said, it's safe to say you'll know when pre-orders will happen. It's not going to happen with a minute's notice. We're going to, at some point, let you know when you can pre-order a PlayStation 5, so please don't feel like you have to go run and line up anywhere until you receive official notice on how that will work. Obviously, that went completely out the window as soon as their showcase finished last night, because Game and Walmart put their pre-orders up online, and a lot of people this morning, or I guess later in the day, started posting online saying, well, what the hell? I went to bed. It was midnight if you were in the UK, or otherwise didn't pre-order something because I was waiting on this official confirmation. And now a ton of outlets are completely out of stock. Amazon, Game, there's a whole bunch of them that just don't have anything. And it's just a big old mess. So what's your thoughts?
It's fine, completely overblown. Like, they stuck to their word. They didn't give us a minute's notice. They gave us like 5 and then completely spat the whole thing up the wall because it was a complete shambles last night. Yeah, when we did our post-launch, post-showcase video, they hadn't released anything about pre-orders. After we wrapped that video, Sony tweeted out saying that pre-orders were going to be available at select retailers like this morning. So we thought, okay, everyone, like you said, went to bed expecting to get up early, get the pre-orders in. Then Walmart and Game Juice were like, nope, we're doing pre-orders right now. And they sold out more or less instantly. Everyone got up this morning. Amazon UK, at least, launched pre-orders at 9 a.m. They sold out in like 10 minutes. It has just left everyone feeling, well, what the hell, Sony? Like literally months ago, you promised that this exact scenario wouldn't happen. Like everyone wouldn't be rushing for kind of consoles, trying to just cram in and try to get their confirmation codes. And that's exactly the thing that's gone down in it. It sucks, Scott, because like even me, I'm in Schrodinger's pre-order territory at the moment because I pre-ordered one last night from Game.
Schrodinger's console.
And didn't get my order confirmation. So now I'm like, well, do I try to order from somewhere else? What's going on? But everything's sold out. It's complete chaos. And it's like, you've had so much time to plan for this. You've had so many months. We're 2 months away from launch to make this thing as smooth as possible. And you completely bollocks it up.
There's so much stuff that like their communication stuff is all over the place. Like even regards to the whole multiple PS5 exclusives being now on PS4. Like Horizon Forbidden West is now a PS4 game, which kind of just they didn't really talk about that much. Obviously, when they showed it off the first time, it was very much held up as this is what the PS5 is going to look like or whatever. But next year that will be coming to PS4. So Spider-Man Miles Morales also going to be a PS4 game, as is Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Things that kind of go against Jim Ryan getting out there and saying that they believe in the next generation and they definitely want to create experiences that are best experienced on the PlayStation 5. And you can get super granular with that and be like, well, it's best experienced over here, but it is going to be available on the original system. But to me, that feels like them doing it an about face to sort of contend with Microsoft, because the Xbox marketing is very much ran away with, we're consumer focused and we want to make sure you can access the next gen titles on your current hardware, and we want to respect the consumer, which is great. But it feels very much like they're like I said, their messaging is all over the place. The pre-order stuff is ridiculous, and their approach to, what even is a PlayStation 5 exclusive right now? It's like Demon's Souls, Ratchet and Clank next year, and then eventually God of War. But this initial salvo of like, you're buying the system to get these games isn't actually really the case, at least not right now anyway.
No, it's true. Like for me, the exclusive stuff is less of an issue because while they have always said we do believe in generations, we believe in exclusives, they've never once come out and said every single thing is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Because at the same time, they've also been reassuring PlayStation 5. Because at the same time, they've also been reassuring PlayStation 4 fans that the investment they've made will still be paid off. They will still have great games coming. So for me, it kind of makes sense that Spider-Man, especially,
like a transitionary period.
Yeah, because that's part of the transitionary period that's coming out at launch, and Spider-Man is such a huge brand, Sony probably wants to get it in 100 million consoles. Horizon is the big kind of, that took me by surprise, because when we saw that, like you said, that looked like an example of a next-gen game, and I think everyone, because it had no date at the time, at least as far as I can remember, like everyone was assuming that was going to be a big PlayStation 5 game, but to now have that one kind of rolled back, that's interesting, but we still got Ratchet and Clank, we still got God of War, we still got Demon's Souls at launch. Yeah, there's still a lot of games, equal amount of games to kind of show that Sony does believe in making exclusives for the PlayStation 5. And for me, those 3 games are enough to invest in the PlayStation 5 and have something to look forward to that is exclusive to that console.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good transitionary period. I just think that their messaging has been messy as hell. Like when they first shut off Miles Morales, they could have said coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, the best version is going to be on the PS5. Same with Horizon Forbidden West. I just think that a lot of that stuff could be clearer. And the fact that they're doing so many weird swerves left and right with pre-orders and game availability kind of points to them just sort of reacting to stuff on a daily basis. When, like you said, they've had months to plan it. They took forever to do the price and the release date. You'd think they would have this stuff completely locked down. But yeah, in regards to the availability stuff, they also had to get out there and put out the fire of 4 million units of the system apparently not being made, because apparently they initially planned to ship 14 million, and then there was apparently a 4 million amount that was going to be kept back until 2021, reported by it was either Game Industry Biz or Bloomberg, and then immediately they got out there and said, no, don't worry, everything's going to be the same, it's all going to be there. I just feel like a lot of the general sort of, like I said, the messaging around the release of the system just seems a little bit spotty and a little bit messy. Compared to on Microsoft's side, yes, Halo got delayed, but they seem like they actually know what the hell they're doing. Their approach to the next gen is locked in. Whereas like Sony, even with something like the PS Plus collection, feels like a response to Game Pass, feels like something sort of thrown in that they can figure out later. It's a weird beat from considering they've been on top of the generation this whole time. How have you not got every single duck lined up,
Well, Scott Tilford, this is my conspiracy theory, I think. Obviously, we've been reporting for months that Microsoft and Sony have been in this game of chicken. They're trying to not want to go first with pricing. They not want to go first with, when they're releasing. And I wonder that if that was extended for so long, that Sony ended up having to push this showcase to the last possible minute, and that coincided with when pre-orders were supposed to go up. So maybe they initially expected Microsoft to show off what they had in August, so then they would have had a month's buffer to get the pre-orders up. Obviously that didn't happen. They announced their stuff last week, so Sony was just like, right, we're going to scramble, we're going to get this showcase out, we're going to put pre-orders up just as they were. We need to get this thing done. That's just entirely conjecture off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised considering how ramshackle it feels and how directly it contradicts their previous messages,
Well, I mean, obviously it's a very reactive industry, and like I said last night in some of our initial videos we did after the PlayStation 5 showcase, Sony love to see what's working in the industry and then do their own version of it, whether it's doing trophies after achievements or doing VR after it takes off with Oculus or whatever. And it seems like they kind of wanted to test they didn't bother embracing backwards compatibility this gen. They were the first people out there at the beginning of the generation saying that people don't want to play old games, and then obviously going forward they've kind of gone, oh well, we'll do a PlayStation 4 package when we go on the PS5 and things like that. So yeah, they're very much a reactive company, and it makes sense. But yeah, in terms of the unit allocation, like, do you think any part of this is controlled, like doing what Nintendo did with the mini NES or something like that, where it's enforced scarcity to create a crazy demand, and you just trickle out like amounts of the system over time to make sure that the demand stays sky high?
Absolutely. I'm sure part of it might be production issues, but I'm sure part of it is a kind of, just I don't know, calculated approach, because like you said, if you get this scarcity up, if you get people talking about it, if you get it trending, if you get Amazon UK trending on Twitter, people being like, I need this console, I need to get it, where can I find it? Like that does push up demand, you know what I mean? It's not really good for us as players. I don't think it's the best thing to do for your customers, but it does get people talking, it does get people wanting to buy, it does get people feeling like they need to buy as soon as they have an opportunity. And I don't like it. I feel like it's a bit scummy and very manipulative, but it's no doubt going to work for them, because if you just look on, Twitter this morning, everything is PlayStation 5 related. It's where can I buy it, what's sold out, what's going on with my confirmation, and that's absolute chaos. And I don't like it, but I'm sure it will sell on consoles, and I hate that it will.
Oh man, it'll absolutely fly. I mean, it allows those individual retailers to jack their prices up as well, and especially if you can't get any of the bundle deals, like the one with the headset or with the additional controller or the media remote or whatever, and you settle quote unquote for a base system, and you then have to get all those components separately, and it's all a whole bunch of separate supply chains that can all sort of bounce off each other. It's a big old thing, and it reminds me a little bit of PS3 Sony in terms of just like, it's easy to forget when they've been doing so well, especially in the first party game front, that they are a very money hungry company, and given the opportunity, like with the PlayStation 3, they will eat as much as they can. So it's just that time, they're cashing back in at the turn of the generation.
Yeah. Totally, man. Like, honestly, it's not too far removed from the PlayStation 4's pre-order, because I remember trying to get one of those back in the day, and that was done in the same kind of wave system where they all sold out immediately. Then you could have a second wave of it that would come out slightly after launch. But then they did the exact same thing from the retailer front, like you said there. You know what I mean? Suddenly, at Game, for instance, all of the base models would be sold out, and you had to buy the super expensive top-tier bundles with a bunch of different accessories, that you don't want, because it's the only one left, the only one you're going to buy. Like, this stuff always sucks, but it especially sucks this time around because of how close we are to launch, how much of a gap we had between information drops, and because it directly, like I said, contradicts what they've actually said. Like it's just those extra things that exacerbate the issue, you know what I mean, and make it so frustrating, especially after what I thought was a proper killer show, like a really exciting, full of anticipation, and then you just get this bundled business mess that's kind of like lurched onto it afterwards.
There's so much more to pick apart. Even the likes of, like, speaking of the show, Final Fantasy 16 being a console exclusive, apparently that's a timed exclusive, at least according to Eurogamer. But that's a whole bunch of other stuff to get to in the future as we sort of contend with what Sony says in one place being different to what they say elsewhere. We'll get to it. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. Have you been stung by the pre-order stuff already? Or is your general approach just to wait it out and wait until things calm the hell down? For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
And we'll catch you next time, though.
Bye.
Bye, though.